Hey there, everybody. Thanks for joining me for another one-man review. Today we have what I've come to understand is a very special book. This is Iris, a novel for viewers by Lo Hartog van Banda and Tjong-Khing, I believe is how you would say those two names. This was, I guess, a really big, impactful book in underground comics in 1968. I got this pre-ordered during the Fanabucks sale. I think it's out in stores in like this week or next week, something like that. I might have had an early preview of it here. I got this during the sale. I saw a couple, they had a couple of the images advertising it, and I thought that looked cool, but I don't know. It looks like the story might be kind of stupid or whatever. But I had some spare credits left over from the sale, so I went ahead and pre-ordered it. And boy, am I glad I did. The story is kind of goofy, but the book itself is just so beautiful and so cool. And the story is actually like more interesting than I thought. This came out in 1968, which is pretty. I mean, stylistically, it totally makes sense. But what it is and how this isn't something that's been perennially in print, I don't know. It starts off with a foreword by the writer Lo Hartog van Banda, written in 1968, and it's talking about as culture moves into a visual world, like talking about now that television is here and is part of our culture, we're a visual culture now. And in this book, seeing comes first and reading comes second. So it's intentionally a visual book, and they're really leaning into the pop art stuff, the Andy Warhol, the concert poster art vibes of that time, to go with that intensified visual culture. And I found that to be a very interesting statement. And then you can see as soon as you flip into the book that, yes, it is like peak psychedelia. It's like Sergeant Pepper meets Moebius meets, I don't know. It's just such a strange mashup of things. And yeah, just visually, the style blew me away. The colors in it are fantastic. Amount of stuff that's stuffed into some of these pages, the overwhelming Las Vegas, burning, searing lights everywhere. Not a world I want to live in, but a world that works very nicely on the page. Also has some really stunning, like, cartooning within that abstract style of the almost Art Nouveau. The plot is revealed somewhat in this sequence here, where you have Iris is taken. This is a world where everyone performs wearing wigs, I guess. And this character here, who I love how he's drawn, this is phenomenal design here. He's gonna take her, and she's gonna be the idol, the pop star for the new era. And it begins with you performing with your own natural hair. That's very important to them for some reason. And then it delves into, like, because this is about pop and pop culture, it delves into the harsh side of being the pop star. That, like, the character saying, you have to choose between me and being a star. And she says, but I want both. I want to perform as a star at the big theater, and then I want to go home with you. So you're talking about trying to balance those two things in life. It is still a little surreal, but there is this interesting plot underneath. And actually, as I was reading this, I kept joking with Tori. I was like, God damn it, like, this is kind of the story that I want to tell. Not totally, but similar to the story I want to tell in the Hologen project I'm working on, in collaborating with another artist. So it was fun to read this because we want to use super bright pinks. We want to use op art patterns. Like, a lot of the things that were heightened in the culture then seem to get re-heightened, like, during the, was it 68? And I feel like there was another boom of kind of going back to all the bright colors and stuff at some point in between now and then, like at the halfway point. And I feel like we're cycling back around to that influence again. Like the late 60s, early 70s, and you kind of have the late 80s, early 90s, where you get all of the Memphis design school, kind of design. You get this postmodern design, and then where you expose how the books are made and stuff like that, which would have been very pop art. And then I feel like we're coming back around to that now, and what I see with a lot of my students. So this book was also really fun for me, and being like, oh yeah, okay, like everything's been done before, I know that, but now we can acknowledge it, which is awesome and healthy. They talk about that here, like what this plot is going towards is not only is Iris going to be a pop star, but they want to mass market her herself, and they're testing it on her lover. And so they said, that was quite a whack, huh? Congratulations, young man. Because of you, the first presentation of screenless 3D was a sensation. The image was so perfect that even the star's boyfriend thought the projection was real. Boy, oh boy, what a stunt. And that's pretty much like Halogen's going to be like nanobot projected pop star. And the other like halfway point that I can't help but see like is Jim and the holograms. Obviously Halogen is very self-aware, acknowledged that. So there seems to be like this, Jin and the holograms, and then hopefully Halogen will be even bigger than all of those. But it's fun to see that this theme comes back, and it's tied to pop stars and all of these things that I want to talk about coming back around. Some really cool, just surreal sequences in here where the artist gets to go nuts with transformations and color. Again, all throughout. Beautiful compositions, beautiful coloring throughout. And just some phenomenal cartooning along the way. At this point in the book, there's a whole bunch of, like, the Iris dolls are being sold, almost like a sex bot. That's an interesting thing they talk about. And then the sequence here, some of the drawing, this is mentioned in one of the essays. The author really liked this, and I agree. This beautiful drawing of this person being stabbed, and this guy again, like the cartooning on him, all of the shapes in here, working with the flat colors. I think this is really beautiful. So super cool, super recommend it for everyone. Then even cooler, and I hope this is Fantagraphics laying the ground for some more books to come. There's a big essay in the back talking about just the times that this book came out in and some of the other influences. There's a really beautiful cartoon here. I'm going to have to look this artist up, but this is Hanko Kolk's 2013 tribute to Iris for the artist's 90th birthday. And this is a phenomenal piece of line art right there. Beautiful. There's a thing here that is from Banda and King's first collaboration, Student Tijlu, and this is some of the best photorealist pen and ink strip art I've seen in the vein of Alex Raymond that I've seen ever. And I've looked at not all of it, but a lot of it for The Strange Death of Alex Raymond. And King is a phenomenal pen and ink photorealist in the Raymond tradition. These three here at least are on par or maybe even surpassing Al Williamson in my opinion, which is a huge thing to surpass. Very Al Williamson in influence, but this coming out in the early 50s, this would have been before Al Williamson got this good. So this is basically, as far as I can tell, someone taking what Raymond and Drake were doing and pushing it. I would pay all kinds of money for a reprint of this. Apparently it was 2.5 year run strip, so you could get one nice volume of all of this. The reproduction here is phenomenal. I don't know how much of this stuff actually exists. And there's another thing mentioned in here, another strip called Marion's Diary, and when I looked that up online, I couldn't find a single image of that. But it's mostly, it sounds like pretty girls, like a very Heart of Juliet Jones type of thing. And when I'm looking at King's drawings here of fashion stuff, he's so able to move into cartooning, into the realism. Obviously, he's able to work in the abstract, more abstract, flat color style here. This guy seems like an amazing artist with an amazing breadth of styles. Never heard of him before. With Fantagraphics, please tell me you're putting a library of King's work out, because this dude is amazing. Then also they show some other things that were in the culture at the time, including, I'm assuming this is a French name, so I'm going to say Guy Pilar, but instead of Guy Pielart, but maybe I could be wrong. Someone else who's working with this op art, like pop art style in comics. It has put out 2 books. One is called The Adventures of Jodelle. I have ordered a copy of the original version of it. I found one online. I guess Fantagraphics did a reprint in 2013, and they're both out of order. but I found a copy for like $70 of the original one. We'll see what kind of condition it's in. But with these colors and stuff, it looks just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm looking forward to that. There was another Guy Pilar book, Pravda, that I could not find a reasonably priced copy online. So hopefully Fantagraphics is looking at that if this book is successful. And then they talk about some of the other just like pop art, sexy comics heroines, Barbarella. This looks like something, I don't know if that's been reprinted. That seems more likely, but I would like to see a nice printing of that. There's Scarlet Dream, which some of this looks totally amazing. So I hope there's a print coming of that. Really cool psychedelic colors, some really cool like looser ink work here, still in that photorealist style somewhat. They've already done the Valentina stuff, so I feel like this is a bit of Fantagraphics putting out there like, what do you want us to do next? So if anyone from Fantagraphics sees this, all of it, I don't know. My instinct, just selfishly, is that I really want to see the Student Tidgeloo strip. But the other one that really caught my eye is something that I'd love to read that looks hilarious, is this Verumshka, a purely political strip where you have an innocent blonde. I don't know why the innocent blonde's in garters, panties, and taking her shirt off, but an innocent blonde puts simple questions to cunning politicians. Really like the art, really like the colors of that. The premise sounds hilarious. So I hope Fantagraphics going for a reproduction of that too. If they are and people know where to get a hold of the rights to this shit, like, let me know. I'll start bothering Sean. Some of this stuff, like, I would probably pay out of pocket to get the $2,000 or $3,000 we would need just to get the rights to this if that's out there. So I don't know, man. A lot of cool stuff in this essay. This Jan Creamer strip looks really cool. This Witji, it just looks like there's a lot of really awesome comics coming out of the Netherlands. This also goes into other things that King did, including an illustrated Bible. And this poorly reproduced image here looks pretty awesome. So it really whet my appetite for a lot of these other products, and I'm really hoping that Fantagraphics follows through on that appetite whetting, because now I'm just going crazy knowing that there's some beautiful stuff. Here's another one, really beautiful thing. Armin and Ilva. This looks like a really awesome, this is by King again, and it looks like a super awesome psychedelic sci-fi adventure. So, God, I want books of all this stuff, man. And definitely get yourself Iris, a novel for viewers now before it runs out of print and becomes like the Pravda or whatever, where you're paying a couple $100 for a book to see something that, as far as I'm concerned, is so. This is 1968. This should be like comics history 101 seminal stuff, and I almost passed over it because it just looked like a funky little reproduction. Like, Fantagraphics didn't even present it well as on their sales job on it. I almost didn't buy it. So I don't know what's going on with all of this, but this stuff deserves to be easily accessed by the public at any time because it's very important work. The Eisner nominated The Strange Death of Alex Raymond by Dave Sim and myself. This is a gorgeously illustrated and designed book. Dave doing most of the illustration. Amazing compositions throughout. What Dave is doing is he's recording his obsession with the death of master cartoonist Alex Raymond behind the wheel of Stan Drake's car when they got into a car crash. The best description of the book that I've heard is that it's like understanding comics with pages like this, mixed with something like From Hell when you get into the theories about, you know, what actually happened with the car crash. And then with Sean on production, it's just one of the most gorgeously printed books you could get a hold of.